Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you guys for clicking on this video, supporting a smaller content creator. I can't thank you guys enough. Now let's talk about C3.AI, especially with this AI frenzy that we've seen since the beginning of the year. And with C3.AI, with the ticker symbol of AI, there's a lot of trendiness that is behind that. And are we seeing a little bit of a cool off, especially as prices are correcting and people are criticizing the really high valuations that we're seeing on C3.AI. And also people are questioning, we made other videos on this, make sure you go check it out. The short interest is starting to increase and it's very high, among one of the highest for some of these tech stocks, especially one being involved within the AI industry. So let's talk about what does the future hold for C3.AI, especially with its fundamentals and businesses, its spending practices, and also its history, not in just terms of trading, but also its decisions from a business. Now, of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube doing research and sharing the information I learn with you guys and just trying to learn everything that we can as retail investors. So make your own decision before making an investment decision. That is the piece of advice that I'll give. And of course, hit that like button for the algorithm. I can't thank you guys enough, and subscribe for daily videos. Pop it up on the screen here. C3.AI sits at $29. Interesting number where we see right here, since back in August, C3.AI was up here at this $44.90. Now, big things ahead for C3.AI is a very important date. This is September 6th. Now, September 6th post-market is their earnings call. And depending on how they're going to, they beat their last earning expectations, their Wall Street analyst predictions. They beat those analyst predictions, which was great there for the company. Hats off to them. Will this continue on into the next quarter? That's the big question. We're going to be talking about this, especially since we're seeing options and actually puts of lower strike prices. Volumes are increasing on those ends. So people are thinking that C3.AI is going to have a little bit of a cool off. Right now, sitting at a market cap of about 3.37 billion, trading volumes at about that 12 million, cooling off is kind of what we've seen here. Daily trading volume has kind of started to decrease. And are we seeing this among other AI stocks? Now, Motley Fool shares a good article right here talking about C3.AI and some of the business practices that they have changed and why some people might be becoming a little more skeptical about the company. Now, apparently C3.AI right here, they changed their name with C3 Energy, selling energy kind of services on the smart grid when that business idea was hot and trendy. And then in 2016, it changed its name to C3 IoT, which represented the Internet of Things, which was another buzzword around 2016. And then just recently in 2019, just a few years, that's about 4 years ago, is when it changed its name to C3.AI and really started focusing on those AI products. And talking about that, changing their name is of course not a bad thing. They have every right to do that, but changing their business model to represent the newest trend is where you're seeing some of the criticism coming, and what Motley Fool is saying here in this article, and from the public saying, hey, are they just trying to take advantage of some of the hype and selling these services to basically gain revenue metrics, try to hop on the train and to try to stand out and compete against some of the other companies? It is something definitely to think about and interesting to see and to learn about. So if you didn't know that, there's some history there. And talking about C3.AI is the amount of money that they are spending on their marketing. Now, of course, you do need marketing and advertising to help basically bring exposure to a company, and especially a newer tech company that's getting involved with AI products, bringing exposure and trying to bring competition. How do you get the name out there? It's going to take marketing. But looking at this right here, it generated $267 million in revenue, and that was up from $14 million year and prior. But with that, it spent $183 million on sales and marketing. Now, that's $183 in customer acquisition spending in order just to add $14 million in new sales. Now, Motley Fool, really this article here, makes a great point that, hey, they spent a ton of money just to add a small increment or a small percentage of that whole number in just new sales. And is this efficient? I would agree that this is an efficiency that I'm seeing from the side of C3.AI, and especially with their business practices for the amount of money that they are spending. Now, the numbers right here saying they had a gross profit that has actually declined in its fiscal year of 2023 from 180 million. It says from 189 million from the year before. So a little bit of decline there in their actual gross profit margin compared to its operating losses. Now, one thing that we should also talk about is their valuation. And the valuation is stretched is because right here it's giving a price to sale ratio of 12.6, or around 5 times the S&P's 500 average ratio. And what means is that basically people are paying a premium right now for C3.AI and its actual stock, taking a bullish bet on the future and giving it a high valuation compared to its actual revenue metrics that are coming in earnings per share. Remember, their earnings per share, their analysts, what they're expected is negative 17 cents, and with the gap estimate, negative 59 cents. Now, this is post-market with revenue metrics that they're predicting at about 71 million. It'll be interesting to see here what they do report. And one thing I was also looking at is into their options right here. You can see the ones that are going to be actually expiring by the end of this week have high volumes in the puts at these lower strike prices here in the mid-20s. And then if you go into the following week, you do have higher volumes, especially in the lower kind of to mid-20s compared to the amount that you do have calls for higher strike prices. So interesting to see there that many people are taking a bet on a little bit of a cool off, and with the short actually interest ratio that's continuing to grow, it is a heavily shorted stock right now. And you can see that with the short percent of the float is 34.3%. That means that 32.9 million of these shares right here of the 96 million that are currently outstanding available for public trading are being shorted. So we're seeing people that are increasingly taking a bet on C3.AI having a little bit of a correction in its price. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We'll be keeping a good eye on it. And let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think is going to be happening to C3.AI in its near future, especially with those earnings coming up? Do you think that there's going to be a cool off, or could it be a bullish potential and go the other way? I want to know what you guys think. Love to start a discussion, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.